You are surrounded by objects you have not touched in weeks. Tabs you will never finish reading. Notifications you do not remember. Enabling your phone is within arm reach right now. You checked it less than 10 minutes ago. You will check it again before this is over. You did not decide to build your life this way. You inherited it. The layout of your desk, the apps on your home screen, the furniture in your room, the lighting, the sounds, the distance between you and the things you reach for most often. None of it was designed by you. Most of it was designed by someone else. For reasons you never questioned, your environment is not neutral. It is a series of cues. Every object is a prompt. Every surface is a reminder. Every notification is an interruption. Disguised as information, your brain does not distinguish between a choice and a reflex. When the gap between stimulus and response is short enough, the chocolate bar on the counter gets eaten. Not because you are hungry, because it is visible. The book on the shelf stays unread. Not because you do not want to read. Because it is behind a closed door, the gym bag buried in the closet does not get used. Because the cost to retrieve it is higher than the intention that put it there. Friction is not an obstacle. It is a filter. Your behavior bends toward whatever requires the least resistance. You believe you are making decisions. You are mostly responding. The decision was made when you put your phone on the nightstand instead of the drawer. When you left the remote on the couch. When you bookmark the article instead of reading it, the environment holds the script. You are just performing it. This is not about willpower. Willpower is what you use to fight the environment. After it already shaped the terms, you are spending energy resisting things that never needed to be there. Every visible distraction is a negotiation. Every negotiation costs attention. Attention is the only non-renewable resource you have. And you are spending it deciding whether to open the app you already opened twice this hour. Most people think environment matters only when it is extreme poverty. War isolation. They do not realize it is working just as hard in the ordinary. The chair you sit in determines your posture. Your posture determines your energy. Your energy determines how long you stay focused. The lighting in your room affects your cortisol. Your cortisol affects your sleep. Your sleep affects your mood. Your mood affects every decision the next day. You are not tired because you are weak. You are tired because your bedroom has blue light and your brain thinks it is noon. Cue routine reward. That is the structure. The cue does not have to be loud. It just has to be consistent. Your brain is a pattern-matching machine. It does not care if the pattern serves you. It cares if the pattern is predictable. The notification sound is the cue. The swipe is the routine. The dopamine is the reward. The reward getting smaller does not break the loop. It tightens it. You were told to build discipline, to resist temptation, to ignore distractions. But you are trying to ignore distractions. In a room built to distract you, you are trying to build focus. In an environment optimized for interruption. That is not discipline, that is fighting architecture. The people around you are cues too. Not what they say, what they normalize. If everyone scrolls during dinner, you will scroll during dinner. If everyone you follow posts urgency and panic, you will feel urgency and panic. If your friends talk about goals but never act, you will talk about goals but never act. Proximity is not inspiration. It is permission. You absorb more than you notice. The tone of voice, the level of order or chaos, the way frustration is handled, the speed people move, the topics they avoid. You start matching it without trying. Mirror neurons do not ask for consent. They copy you think you are independent. But independence requires isolation from influence, and you are never isolated. The home you live in teaches you what is normal. If it is cluttered, clutter becomes normal. If it is silent, silence becomes normal. If it is interrupted constantly, interruption becomes normal. Normal is not preference. It is what you stop noticing. Once you stop noticing, it stops being environment. It becomes identity. You say you are someone who reads, but your books are in a box. You say you create, but your tools are buried under mail. You say you value rest, but your bed is surrounded by screens. The gap between who you claim to be and the environment you built is structural. You are not lying about who you are describing intention. But intention does not live in your head. It lives in your environment. If the environment does not support the identity is theoretical. You are not the person you think you are the person your environment allows. This is the uncomfortable part. You believe your choices reflect your character, but they reflect your surroundings more than your values. The version of you in a quiet room with no phone is not the version of you in chaos with 17 tabs open. Same brain, different cues, different behavior. You are not consistent. You are conditional. Your focus, patience, mood, and energy shift with context. You do not have a fixed personality. You have responses triggered by surroundings. Change the context. Change the person. You spent years trying to change yourself. When the environment was the variable, you tried waking earlier, but your room blocked light. You tried eating better, but the easiest food required no effort. You tried being present, but your phone was in your pocket. You were fighting the wrong battle. Every failure felt personal. Lazy week, undisciplined. But the failure was not internal. It was environmental. The system was working, you just did not design it. Other people did. App developers, advertisers, architects, manufacturers, urban planners, they designed for engagement, for consumption, for profit. Not for your focus, not for your clarity. You are living inside someone else's goals, then blaming yourself when yours feel impossible. The cost is not dramatic. You stop finishing things. You stop starting things. You stop remembering what you were doing. Everything becomes maintenance. You are not building. You are managing noise. Your attention span is not shrinking. It is being trained to shrink. Small rewards delivered constantly are more addictive than large rewards delivered rarely. Your environment is running experiments on you, and you are the subject. You feel like you cannot think clearly because your cognitive load is always full. You are not consuming content. You are triaging it, and triage never ends. The fatigue you feel is not physical. It is decisional. Unmade decisions stack. They do not disappear. You are not lazy. You are overloaded. Your environment does not ask you to focus. It asks you to react. And you adapted. You multitask. You switch fast. You respond instantly. Those are not skills. They are symptoms. Deep work requires stillness. So does reflection. So does creativity. So does connection. You do not access stillness because your environment never offers it. If you never settle, you never go deep. You notice this, but never named it. You start and abandon. You feel interest, then lose it. You plan, then avoid. That is not inconsistency, that is overstimulation. Novelty feels like motivation until it wears off. Now it wears off fast. You are motivated to start, not to finish. Because starting gives dopamine. Finishing requires stillness. You live where the fastest option wins. Speed, convenience, stimulation, those are design choices and they reshaped you. You cannot tolerate boredom anymore. Boredom used to signal creation. Now you kill it instantly and lose what comes after it. You are not broken. You are surrounded by the wrong cues. Effort will not save you. Effort runs out, environment does not. When effort fails, the easiest behavior wins, because it is there. You think you are not trying hard enough, but trying means the environment is against you. If the environment supported you, there would be nothing to try. You made the wrong things easy and the right things hard. That is not a moral failure, it is a design failure, and you are the designer. You just did not know. You thought you were living, but living is designing every object you keep, everything you see, everything within reach. That is architecture, and architecture decides behavior. You cannot think your way out of a structural problem. The structure must change. But changing it means admitting, the problem was never you, and that is the hardest thing to accept.